the destruction is staggering, right? Seeing the rubble and the
Absolutely.
rushing waters and overturned cars, and of course the bodies that have been
Absolutely.
retrieved. It's heartbreaking. How are you doing?
Uh, well, as well as could be expected. Obviously, this is a time of mourning. Some mourning that a person could deal with and could accept, and that's the mourning that the loss of loved ones, of family members and neighbors and friends. But also, in fact, there is another mourning for a lot of us who, like you said, have roots in Derna, and that is the mourning of a loss of a town. And to tell you the truth, I never knew that term or this meaning until this experience, which started for us and started to unfold 3 days or 4 days ago. Mourning the loss of a town is something that's extremely painful. Uh, it's a new experience, and it's an overwhelming experience. Obviously, when you add to it the loss of, like I said, friends, of family members, and neighbors, it's painful, but we're getting a lot of support, and we will survive, obviously.
For yourself, you have lost family and friends there?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have. Not first degree relatives, but definitely يعني, close relatives, cousins, and their families. All segments of society, including my relatives, children, elderly, men, women. It's just an incredible experience, and it came. And these kind of experiences, it's very, very difficult to prepare for them. It was totally unexpected, although there was a little bit of a warning, but still shocking nevertheless. And the people that I've been talking to in the past couple of days, I tell you, there's so much shock and so much trauma going on in the society, and definitely so much mourning. And some people are really just lost. And obviously, there are a lot of practical issues at hand that you mentioned at the top of this interview, and that is, getting the bodies out. And in the first couple of days, we were thinking a couple of thousand people, but now there is fear that the number of people who have departed will actually exceed 20,000, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry for your loss, and as you said, you are mourning this loss of the town that you grew up in. And when was the last time you were in Derna?
Last time wasn't long ago. It was this past winter. We haven't lived in Derna since 1976. Derna is the city I was born in the late 50s and grew up in. And it's quite a unique town, very, very distinct in relation to our country, Libya. It was it's an ancient town, in fact, rooted in ancient civilizations such as the Roman, the Greek, definitely the Islamic civilization, have all been passed through Derna and formed a melting pot that created a unique culture known for its philosophy, the arts, its distinct cuisine, its distinct plantations. I could not forget this time now that's approaching. In fact, it's very much related to the flooding, because pomegranates in Derna grew up in the Wadi, which is the name of the river that sort of splits the town in two halves. Some very, very unique flavors and tastes and smells, and obviously the Mediterranean, where we grew up swimming at. So it's a town, definitely, like I said, I haven't seen in a few months, but it's in my heart and it's in my mind, and I know it street by street. And unfortunately, it's no longer. It's not there. What they call the area that's been described as affected, they call it the old town. Well, for me, that is Derna, because the old town that's where we grew in. That's the only Derna I knew, and that's where all the families of Derna grow in and raise their kids. And it's such a deep story, and it's a story of mourning and of loss. But I always remind myself also we will have to find an opportunity for hope.
You talked about the tasks at hand. Given the political divisions in Libya, that is currently hampering, aid and rescue efforts. What is needed now, do you think, for the immediate future and to look at rebuilding this town you so love?
Yes. Well, unfortunately, one could see the floodings, and what could immediately come to mind is that this is a natural disaster or natural catastrophe. And it is so in part. But the political divisions and the political struggle of Libya and Libyans for the past 50 or 60 years have included so much neglect for the infrastructure and for the development and maintenance of towns and other things like the economy, the healthcare system, and everything. So it's actually been, unfortunately, a country and a society living in chaos for many years, to the extent that chaos became the norm. Right now, there is definitely hope, and many people have been speaking about this, that this crisis, that this trauma may hopefully lead to maybe a shift in the thinking and in the behavior of Libyan leaders and politicians and people who are in positions of power and decision-making capacity. That's something that we definitely hope for. But also the tasks at hand certainly require international help. And there have been calls for countries in neighboring Libya, as well as friends of Libya, and certainly including Canada, where there's also a large Libyan community in Vancouver and in the rest of Canada. We need the involvement and we need the help of our friends because there are a lot of expertise that are required for the healing, the immediate healing and the immediate tasks at hand, as well as for the rebuilding of Derna and other neighboring towns. Maybe one thing I could immediately think of is people could contact and look up the Libyan Red Crescent Society. They've been receiving calls and offers of help and aid, so that's one source. And maybe people could also contact their representative in parliament, and whether in Ottawa or in Victoria, and maybe they could lobby for proper relations with Libya and for proper aid to the right hands. But certainly, this is a time where Libya needs its friend throughout the world. And hopefully, the same way that the Libyan society has contributed, in fact, to too many societies when they were in help, there is certainly an expectation that friends of Libya will come through at this time to help us, because this is something that certainly Libyan people cannot do it alone.
For yourself, Dr. Hewaidi, what's next for you as you witness and mourn this catastrophe?
I tell you, I keep hoping for retirement, and I've been calling myself retired for a couple of years, but apparently it's not in the cards yet. I am heading to Libya in a couple of days, and definitely going to get together with the colleagues that I know, and we're looking forward to obviously helping within our professional capacity, because there's just so much suffering and so much hurt and so much pain, and people are calling for help and they need the help. So I'm hoping to
You're a psychologist.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And you talked about the trauma, and certainly we have seen that on the faces of people there.